For me, 2700 is not like a big goal. I want to go, of course, further than that. I'm feeling like I'm, like a granddad or something, playing all these open tournaments. I like to do sometimes crazy things. There's definitely some crazy chess players out there, and they like a good party.
Top 5, let's say, chess players who extremely fun and crazy.
Like chess players, they can, if you give them a couple of drinks, they'll come out of their shell. I can tell you, off stream, I really suck at like everything except for chess. Actually, Carlsen, he mentioned he likes that book, and he was like, okay, we'll continue playing until you win a game or something. That's a surprise.
Hey guys, I'm Greg Mustreader, and today I am glad and honored to present to you the next guest of my chess podcast, Jorden van Foreest, the famous Grandmaster #2 in the Netherlands, Tata Steel champion, and many other titles. Youngest, I think, ever Dutch Grandmaster, representative of the noble family,
Wow.
Descendant of some mayors of Dutch towns, etc., etc. Hi, Jorden.
Hi, yes, thank you for being here and for that introduction as well. It's really good to be here. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'm also thrilled. We are not just here for the podcast, but also for the World Rapid and Blitz teams.
Podcast first, though, of course,
but
podcast
yeah,
and then the chess.
Content comes first. So I wanted to ask you many questions. I've listened and watched many of podcasts with you as a guest, and everybody wants to speak about your work on Team Magnus, and I also ask some questions about that. But first of all, I wanted to ask about you as a chess player and your current chess improvement, life hacks, routines, stuff like that. I've seen that your rating a little bit dipped. Now you're back on track to get to 2700. What are you doing to improve these days?
Yeah. I mean, let's say I've been stuck around a little bit like under or a little bit over 2700 for the last couple of years. I would say around like 2020, I made a breakthrough to almost 2700. And in 2021, I made it over. But ever since, I've been struggling, to make a lot of improvements. And, if you look like at the chess world these days, it's getting so young, I'm feeling like I'm, like a granddad or something, playing all these open tournaments. Like I'm almost always like playing younger opponents, but still, I feel like I'm not that old just yet, so I can improve. And I would say like, when COVID came around and everything, like a couple of years ago, it was hard for me to work on chess as much because there weren't a lot of tournaments. And I feel I slacked off a little bit, and it showed in my results. Like I won Vikenzee, then COVID it was in the middle of COVID, but I didn't work much after Vikenzee because there weren't too many tournaments as well. And my rating dipped a little bit, and especially like last year, I had a really bad year. I lost a lot of rating. At some point, I was like around 2710 or something, and I dropped all the way to, if you let's say look at September last year to about maybe March this year, I dropped to about 2660, which was really like a very low rating for me. And then it kind of hit me, that okay, what the hell am I basically doing here? Like the chess competition is only getting tougher, and here I am doing maybe not working hard enough. So I basically started to take chess a lot more serious again. Basically, since I would say my bad result in Vikenzee this year, it really was a bad result. I've been like working with a coach a lot these days and really having like a dedicated training program. Whereas before I was, like chess is not as professional as other sports, so sometimes you can just, like no one really tells you what to do, like in a normal job or where when you're like a football player, you have a coach, you can just basically do whatever you want. And this is very cool and all, but sometimes it can also kind of make you a bit lazy or like undisciplined, I started working with a coach and trying to work a lot more basically structured on my chess. And I mean, last couple of tournaments have been good. I just came back from Canada where I won 25 rating points, so that was very nice. Canada was basically a little bit of a warm-up for me for the Olympiad, which is very important, and basically couldn't go better. I played 2 tournaments there, won both, so I hope, that I'm kind of back on the way to at least 2700. But for me, 2700 is not like a big goal. I want to go, of course, further than that. And I think if I keep, working pretty structured, stay focused on the results and everything, that, I mean, I can maybe, I don't know what's the limit, but I can at least go higher than what I've been so far, yeah.
Do you like set goals, maybe like 1 year goal, 5-year goal for your chess career? Like this year I need to break 2700, next year I'll make it to the candidates or something like that.
Usually I look a little bit more in the short term. For me, like when growing up, like making it to 2700 was always like a big goal. But once I achieved that, I didn't really know, like, am I good enough to get to top 10? I don't know. Top 20 was always a little bit of a goal, but not something I was really working towards. So I look a little bit at ratings. But for example, last year I was playing a lot of events and my rating was maybe 2690 or something. And I really wanted, like, after these events, I was like, okay, I want to have 2720. But somehow focusing on the rating really backfired. And, after one event, like, I was like, okay, maybe I should go for 2710 and then 2700. And then someone was like, let's maintain my rating. And in the end, I lost like 30 rating points. So I don't know, like my goal now actually is pretty simple. I just want to play good chess because my chess was really bad about a bit more than half a year ago. And I just want to like improve my game. And I think if I improve my chess, like I can play chess at a good level if I'm, having the energy, put the work in, my openings are good. So it's more about that. But so I don't know rating wise, but I just wanna be a lot higher than I've been so far. My peak rating is 2715, and I want to go higher than that. That's for sure.
How exactly do you work on your like improving your strengths or working on your weaknesses in chess? And do you have any weaknesses in chess? If it can be said about a player of your caliber, obviously all the guys at this level are very like balanced and know a bunch of things about all stages of the game. You are considered a expert in creative opening ideas. Obviously, you worked for Magnus, you worked for Anish, but definitely you know a bunch of things about other aspects of chess. But are there any things that like are lacking in your opinion?
Yeah, I think I have a lot of weaknesses, and that's like on the one hand a bad thing, but on the other hand maybe as well a good thing. In the past, I had a lot of struggles, trying to identify like my chess, like what am I really good in chess and what am I bad in, and now I think I have a bit of a better picture than before. But before going into like too much details, I think, for example, I blunder a lot more than players around my rating, so I'm much more like inaccurate at certain points, and maybe my calculation is also not as good as others, but I feel like my intuition in general is pretty good. Openings can be okay as well, but by now, like I took a coach, let's say about half a year ago, maybe a bit less, and we've really been trying to work on, especially like improving like those, like it's hard to work on intuition, for example, but something like direct calculation and being sharp, not being inaccurate, all that kind of stuff we are working on quite a bit. So I'm trying to at least improve my weaknesses a little bit and keep my strengths as well. So that's basically what I'm doing.
How do you work on not committing inaccuracies or blunders? That's a thing that also applies to me, although on a much lower level, because when I play, when I'm in good shape, I can outplay opponents like 300 rating points or even 500 rating points higher than me, but then I can blunder. So this would help me in my my quest for the FIDE Master title.
You should take the same coach.
Who is
great.
The guy?
Yeah, I cannot reveal. I don't know, but I can tell you, off stream. But
okay.
It's not easy, like to work on like your weaknesses and everything. But I feel like what I'm currently doing with my coach, we're just doing a pretty good job. He has dedicated exercises, and in general, I feel like my weaknesses are also a little bit of a like reflection of my personality. So also in life, I'm a pretty impulsive guy, for example. So I like to do things on a whim, just go like, for example, go on a holiday, but then, I can leave, I can forget some things at home, which I had to think about. For example, the other day I went to France, I left the shower open, for example. Like some strange things happen in my life, but in general, like trying to be more accurate, both in life and in chess maybe helps. So, trying to have your stuff in order in your life and everything, that's a good start. And also like, we're like working on like dedicated exercises. So let's say, you have to make a lot of exercises without making a lot of mistakes, for example. And in general, like I'm just working a lot more on chess, like solving stuff and all that kind of stuff than I've been doing in the past. Like there used to be days like during COVID when I was just waking up and just, relaxing on the couch all day, maybe playing a little bit of chess online, but not like there was no like structure to it. And now there's really a pretty clear structure to it. And the good thing is for me, like I don't really have to think about what I'm doing. I just have to think, or like how I'm doing it, I just have to think like I have to do this, like my coach telling you have to do this, this, and this, and this, and I just have to like solve it. But I don't have to think like how am I gonna go about it. So that's saves a lot of energy, I would say, if that makes sense.
That's always fascinated me, this topic of the connection between your personality and your chess playing style. So you really believe that this translates these things?
In my case, for sure. Like I've been a sloppy person, both in life and in chess, since I can remember. But also maybe I have like a pretty good intuition in chess, and maybe this I don't know. These kind of go like creativity and being like impulsive or making like irrational errors. Maybe these all kind of go together, and I feel like that's also what I am as a person. I like to do sometimes crazy things, but it can also like not pan out so well in other ways. I don't know. But yeah, for sure, I think my chess and my personality, there's some connection there for sure.
Can you disclose any of the crazy things in life that you have done? Because there seems to be a stereotype of chess players being boring and incapable of committing acts of craziness.
Yeah, that's really a stereotype. I have met okay, of course, I'm living a little bit in a bubble, meeting only chess players, but there's definitely some crazy chess players out there, and they like a good party, for example. But I mean, I don't know. I try to forget my stupid things, but I've done a lot in general, and sometimes I mean afterwards you regret a little, but in the moment it's good. So yeah.
So you don't want to disclose or what?
Well, I used to like go to parties a lot during the chess tournament because I just felt like it, and then my results would suffer, for example. But now I'm trying to be a lot more professional and just focus on the chess, and kind of realize like that doesn't work anymore. For me, but also in life, like I managed to lose all my stuff. Like I lose phones, wallets, passports. I lost several times. So all these kind of things, like not taking good care of the things that are important. Sometimes it happens to me.
Have you read Nabokov's The Defense?
Nabokov, I only read Lolita, I think.
So it's his novel about a chess player. Yeah, I really recommend it.
Okay.
He used to always forget his stuff, personal stuff.
Yeah.
And Nabokov, who was a chess enthusiast, he even composed some puzzles.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was like, I don't know how strong he was, but pretty strong, I think, for an amateur.
Yeah.
So he described this guy whose prototype was someone between Alekhine and Reti. It was like a mix of several chess players. He described him as like always thinking about chess. That's why he keeps like forgetting stuff about life. Does it apply to you? Like you was thinking about some crazy opening idea and you forget stuff in your life?
I rarely think about chess when I'm not playing chess. So I don't know, but I maybe I'm a bit like daydreaming. You know what I mean? So. Like I'm there, but I'm not really there with my mind. So that could be it, or I'm just like not really there. So I just forget about it. I don't know how it happens. If I really knew like how I like lose so much stuff, for example, I would have fixed it already. But maybe these kind of like materialistic things, for example, they don't matter as much to me as like for example forming connections with people, but. It's a good question. I have to do some more like introspective, searching to know why I do certain things, or maybe that's just the way I am.
You mentioned other chess players also sometimes being up to some parties and fun things to do. Probably partying during tournaments, you might have picked it up from Magnus, with whom you worked. I recall some stories about him coming to the games while hungover and even winning them. Whom would you include in like top 5, let's say, chess players who are extremely fun and crazy in this aspect?
Top 5, that's a big list. Well, definitely with Magnus, you can have a good party, but for him, it depends. Sometimes he's very much by himself and he doesn't show much. But in the past, he used to like a party. I believe now he has a girlfriend, so maybe things changed. Let me think. Well, for example, Dubov, who we mentioned earlier, with him, you can definitely have a good night out. We had some good times in Thailand when the match was, when we were in Thailand during the match with Nepo. I mean, a lot of friends from the Netherlands I can mention, but I don't know if you'll. Actually, I just came back from Canada and had a few good parties there. So it really depends. In general, like chess players, they can if you give them a couple of drinks, they'll come out of their shell. They're not as shy anymore, and I think anyone in general likes to have a bit of a good time. So yeah.
Yeah, about Daniil Dubov, I can confirm. I know him personally. Check out my podcast with him. The link will be in the description. It is in Russian, but with English subtitles. So, okay.
I have to mention my good friend Jules Mustreader. Whenever we go out, it's a night to remember.
Okay, interesting. Speaking about your improvement routine in chess, you mentioned during COVID you didn't spend too much time on chess. Now, how many hours on average do you spend working on your chess?
So I don't know, like actually hard work. If I'm like at home, it would be like maybe 4 hours, let's say, but it would be like really like intense work. And then like, okay, I do some other, like, I always follow chess. So I don't really know if that's like an activity, but I can easily like watch chess games like the whole evening or watch like some event going on and just relax. So I don't know if you count that, but I can easily spend the whole day, like watching chess. Also like working on openings. It's what I do a lot, but it's not as intense. Like, so maybe like 4 hours of intense work and maybe, I don't know, like there's not like super much structure about the other things, but I try at least to have like these 3-4 hours a day, and then I don't know about the rest. It can be a lot, but it can also just be like pretty little. And it also depends, like if I'm traveling to tournaments a lot, I don't do anything like, there's just not like, I'm just focused on the tournament. And so it really is when I'm at home that I work a lot, yeah.
I hope that following chess counts as like putting in the required hours, because I watch like SCC and I think I'm improving a little bit while watching. I hope so. Okay, what about other stuff? Like many chess players are big on like working out, keeping in a good shape. What do you do?
Oh, that's good. Good you bring this up, because I really have to hit the gym again. Like I was hitting the gym for like about a year, like straight. So like maybe like 2023 February to about this year February, but I don't know, something came up, and sometimes like you have like these habits, like for a long time something comes up, I don't even know what happened, and I just like stopped going to the gym. In general, like on sports, I really suck at like everything except for chess. So like you really don't want me to be in your football team, tennis.
So you're not coming tomorrow? I think there will be a match, football match.
No, I'll be like, if like any team I will be like part of, like I'll be like, disadvantaged to the team. So somehow my feeling for the ball has never been great. Okay, I like table tennis, like surprisingly a lot of chess players, but that's about it. But I like going to the gym for a while. I was getting some muscle, working out quite a bit, but something got in the way, and I haven't been going much. So I really need to. Actually, I saw there's a gym in the hotel I'm staying here, so maybe I'll manage to go a couple times. Other things I sometimes do are like running and stuff, but I find it a little bit boring sometimes, so I don't do that much. But the gym was a nice addition for about a year, but got to get back into it. I don't know about you, if you have some recommendations.
Well, I'm not a fitness expert, but once I've started taking chess seriously again. I gave up when I was a kid, and now I'm back in like semi-professional chess, so to say. So I've started working out more, and I now have a personal coach that comes and trains me 3 times per week, and I'm dying every time after a leg day, like when you come to a chess tournament and you can't stand up.
Terrible,
this is horrible, but seems to be working for chess improvement as well. Any other hobbies, things that you do the rest of the time when you're not working on chess or following chess?
I just really like to socialize with friends, I guess, hang out with them. Doesn't even matter what, but just like hang out with friends is what I like. I like to read a lot, I guess, but sometimes don't find as much time. Somehow it's really hard in this day, like a day and age, just to sit down, take a book and read. But if I can manage to, put away my phone and just grab a book, it really relaxes me, and that's what I really enjoy as well. Other things, I don't know, not too much. I mean, I don't know, like the chess lifestyle, it takes up a lot of your time. I guess there's not so like sports. I mean, I can enjoy playing sports. I'm just really bad at it, so that's the thing. So yeah, but just hanging out with friends, I do that as much as I can. So I have a lot of friends in the Netherlands, but I live in Spain, so I'm a little bit between both, trying to spend time.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that you are a bookish person. Any book recommendations? Non-chess?
I just finished reading like Murakami, Kafka on the Shore. It's interesting.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah, you read it as well.
Yeah,
I just started, like literally just started his new book. I even forgot the title. It was some long, complicated title, but like literally just 5 pages in. So I brought it here with me. What else? I mean, I'm trying to learn Spanish, so I read a little bit in Spanish, but like I'm really like super simple. But yeah, no, just any book. I mean, I finally managed to read 1984 like a couple weeks ago, and then I read like Margaret Atwood, Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, so I was like a little bit into dystopian novels, but in general, I like fiction. I don't really like these self-improvement books are not for me, because I tried to read a couple of them, but I always felt like, it's always very nice. Like you're reading it, like feel all pumped up, like I'm going to apply like all these things. But then like what happens is you grab the next improvement book, and somehow I never managed to put it into practice. So like, I feel like I'm staying in this circle of like I don't know, like, trying to read, but not actually putting it into practice. Fiction, I can just, really get into the world, kind of get away from the real world and just chill, relax. And, I guess that's what I like. Yeah.
Then I have to ask about chess books as well. I know you've given some recommendations previously, but maybe some new ones.
I really don't read a lot of chess books. I used to read a lot when I was a kid. Like when I was young, I would read like old chess books, and I would never like read them like front to back. I would just like open them at a random page, read, open them at another page, and then at some point, I guess I didn't find any more new pages, so I decided I finished the book. Okay, I have to kind of mention the book by my former coach, Steve Yakov, who I worked with for a long time. He lives in Groningen, where I spent a lot of my childhood. And he wrote a pretty interesting book on how he basically sees chess. It's called, I think, Rock Solid Chess. So it's very interesting because I think it's completely different than from most books. He really doesn't try to take much of the shies away from like computer stuff and really gives like a human perspective on everything. And I mean, he had a big influence on my chess career. So definitely, I enjoyed that book, and I believe also actually Carlsen, he mentioned he likes that book. Otherwise, really haven't read a lot of books. I did read recently as well. What is it called? The Ink War by it's another Dutch writer. It's basically showing a little bit how like back in the 19th century when you had guys like Steinitz, Blackburn, Zukertort, like. They were all like living in London and trying to make a living from both playing chess and writing about chess. And it's a very interesting book. I didn't completely finish it, but I read most of it. And it's really funny, like how much rivalry there was, especially between Steinitz and Zukertort, I believe. And they were writing for like different newspapers. So if you like chess history or anything, like go check that one out. But like, I mean, like specific chess improvement books, there's so much good stuff out there. What I basically did is I read all the Kasparov books when I was young, and I mean that's what a lot of players did. I read all of Dvoretsky's books, but I mean I don't know, like that's just what you did. So like, for example, Dvoretsky had like some old series that was called, I don't know, like it's been so long. I was like 12, 13 reading this, like Chess Mastery or something, and he would speak like about his trainings with Yusupov, Dolmatov, and incorporate a lot of exercises and of their games and all that kind of stuff. So I read a lot of their books, also like Shereshevsky, like Endgame Method, like all the basic stuff. I did read at some point in time, but it's been a while, and now I don't read a lot of chess books anymore. No, I follow a lot of chess in general, but I don't read a lot about it. So I don't know if you have some good recommendations for me or good stuff you've been reading.
I'm not sure I'm the one to give you recommendations. I wanted them from you. It's cool that you mentioned many books. We'll link them in the description. Check them out. It's great that you mentioned TV Yakov. I really like his games in the knight c3, bishop b5, Sicilian. This is some great lines that he probably pioneered to some extent. Many games, because I sometimes play this as well. Okay, I wanted to also discuss. Let's leave the books. You mentioned learning some stuff, some recommendations from Magnus, and I wanted to ask you after some time has elapsed and he no longer competes for the title. Maybe now, maybe he someday will return to the
Here
the
he
cycle.
is fighting for a world championship title with the team.
Here he is, yeah, but in the team's format. So. How would you, looking back at the story of you working as a second for him in the match, how would you speak about this influence on your chess? Like because this is definitely something that changes you as a chess player. Dubov, for example, told me that he got some boost after working with Magnus. So what about you?
Yeah, for me, it's hard to say or quantify exactly what I learned from it, but it was like such an incredible experience, and it really motivated me. Like, I mean, like just working for maybe the best player of all time, it's just so cool, and it really inspired me to work or to look a lot at chess, especially running up to the match. So that, I think that maybe more than anything, just like, you know, the boost and the feeling like, you know, you're working or you're able to work for Magnus. It's just like, you know, like basically childhood dream to get so close to someone so great. But then again, of course, it really was more like working for than working with, and this is a big distinction, because in general, I wouldn't see Magnus too much. In fact, he only showed up for one training camp the time I was there, and whenever he was at the training camp, he would prefer to play a lot of sports as well. So, you know, I remember we played, like Magnus and me, we played paddle once in duos. And I think he just wanted to play with me because I was so bad. He liked the challenge, you know, of trying to beat, I think we were playing like Peter Heine and Laurent or something. So he just wanted to, you know, play with a handicap basically and still try to win. But still, I mean, I got to play quite a bit of blitz with him. I remember like the first day, like we were playing some blitz. And he was like, okay, we'll continue playing until you win a game or something. And I was like, okay, surely I'm going to win a game at some point. But it's like I lose one, I lose two, I lose three. Maybe I make one draw, lose 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And at some point, and maybe the score's like 9.5. We've been playing for, I don't know, 1.5, 2 hours. Like, okay, let's call it a day. So I never won that game. That was a bit of a pity, but you get to experience like I don't know, like how good he is in chess. Like he really is something special. But once again, like majority of the work was opening work, and I got to spend a lot of time in that respect with the team at the time. So it was Peter Heine, who basically was the head coach, really assembling all the information, Gustafsson, Fressinet, and Dubov. And maybe I would spend the most time talking to Dubov in general. So we would, because we both had like a lot of interesting ideas, but we were also like conflicting on a lot of ideas because, okay, naturally you like your own ideas a bit more, and there can only be so many ideas that can be played in the match, right? So we tried, you know, both to sell our ideas as much as possible. So that was always an interesting dynamic, and we would play a lot of blitz. Like Dubov and me, I don't know, we played like hundreds of games, I would think, and of course he had a huge plus score. But Fressinet, he likes to play some blitz, and Gusti, he doesn't really play much. So. But even Fress, he maybe played like 10% of the game. So at some point I felt like we're at least playing blitz, do for me like 20% of the day, which was a lot. So I think this helped me a lot as well, like playing blitz with one of the best blitz players in the world. What else helped me was maybe like looking at a variety of openings, which I had not really seen before, and really working for an extended amount of time. For me, it's hard to concentrate on one thing for a long time. So let's say I'm looking at a specific opening or even doing something in live, I'll want to do something else like 10 minutes later. Here I was really forced, you know, to go into details, make everything understandable, compact, and of course no mistakes were allowed. So I have to be really thorough, like working for Mac. Of course there cannot be a mistake that you know, you suddenly play something in the match and I don't know, like it's a losing line. Of course it rarely happens these days, but still, like engines can even now they're stronger, but 3 years ago like engines were a little bit weaker and sometimes they would be wrong, not often, but you have to be thorough. That's what I'm saying. So I think just like working for a lengthy period on one like dedicated thing helps a lot. And I don't know, just working with these guys like in several training camp the whole day spending on chess, that was pretty cool for sure. And of course after the match, you know, finished, we had some good parties as well. So you know, it was all a good experience. Yeah.
How many of your ideas were used in that match in Dubai? I think it's no longer a secret.
Yeah. I mean, quite a few. I don't know, like what I'm allowed to say anymore, but definitely quite a few. Especially with the white side, I think at least 4 or something of my ideas were being played.
So how does it feel when you see like the
Oh,
most important match
it was
in
really
chess?
exciting. Yeah, like like I don't know, like some idea you cook up like in a training room. You're sitting on the couch, you don't think too much of it. You're writing some notes. I mean, you're explaining it to the team. Maybe you can explain it to Magnus if he has the time. But you don't, like at some point it's actually being played in practice, and then it's like the real test. Like, is it actually good? Because you don't really know. Like, especially if you're looking with an engine. It's super hard to think objectively about the position yourself. Like, it really clouds your judgment a lot. So let's say I'm looking at a specific opening idea with the engine. I just cannot think properly anymore about the position myself. So I need like input from someone else. But okay, you cannot always get this. Maybe other guys are doing something. So at some point when the big idea is being played on the big scene, it's quite a cool moment. And I mean, I experienced it before working for Anish as well, but working for Magnus, of course, it's in the World Championship. It's a whole different story. But somehow, Dubov and me, we were always pretty relaxed throughout the match. We really believed that he was gonna win. Not everyone in the team was as relaxed, I can say, but we were pretty chill in general about it.
You were all in Thailand. After all,
Thailand, it's hard to be stressed out. Like
you are relaxed, of course.
Because we would work hard in the morning, but during the game we were just like watching all of us together. Usually having a dinner. Of course, opening stage was really important to us to see like how things were going, but in general things were pretty okay. And of course, after game 6, like everyone felt like this is like an really important moment. Unfortunately, I never got to witness it. Like I went to sleep. Like the game was so long, but
in Thailand it was already very late, right?
I think game finished like I don't know, like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and like we had to work next day at 8. So I decided not to. But also, I think I went to sleep at some point. I thought like it was going to be a draw. Like it really looked very drawish. Like maybe after the time control phase, I don't really remember when they had like the rook and knight against the queen and everything. So it was like super happy moment waking up. I remember that. Yeah, and then everyone's like, "Okay, we won this game now." Because in general, like Magnus, he always felt like if he's behind, something can go wrong. But if he's ahead and he just can play his chess, there's no pressure on him to score points. Basically, there's very little that can happen. Really, it's unlikely that he will lose a game or anything like that. So,
wasn't it your opening idea in Game 6?
This
or
one
was
specifically
it
not. No, I think this one. It could even be Peter Heine and Dubov together. Yeah, I don't know. But it was not. This one was not mine.
Yeah, crazy game. I remember I was following it.
But the idea was basically that Jan seemed so well prepared in every line that Magnus couldn't really show his strengths with white. He was so well prepared in like the Petrov, but also game 2, of course, or this was his 95 Catalan with the pawn sacrifice. He was really on it, and in general, Magnus just wanted to play a game, and I mean, this line came up, and it, didn't get a great position out of the opening or anything, but somehow just like playing over time, Magnus got to show his strength. Although I think he was in danger a couple of times that game as well, so it was a bit up and down, but finally after the time control and everything, things went this way. So it was really a special game.
I also wanted to ask, you were involved in some Twitter discussion that gained some media coverage this year about chess players like yourself, not chess professionals, not being provided with decent living conditions for tournaments and stuff like that. Can you explain a little bit more about that? And do you think that things will get better? Because your Twitter thread, I think, was a bit depressing to read. Like top guys or like close to the top don't even get their rooms to play in tournaments, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, first of all, I don't think much is gonna change. It was merely I just really wanted to raise the question and point out the situation, and I'm honestly just wondering, like, how are so many, like, these are like very strong chess players, like, let's say in a range of 2600 to 2700, they're playing, especially tournaments, I would say, in Europe and, I don't know, like Asia, or like, I don't know, in the UAE, for example, there's a lot of very strong tournaments, but really making a living playing these tournaments, it's incredibly hard. And I just wonder like how like a lot of like my colleagues are basically doing it. And for example, like now, if you're not above 2,700, you would have to share a room, and I think you even have to pay your flight. So let's say you're starting with a net minus, and I don't know, maybe the first prize it's pretty good usually. It's like 15,000, but the prizes go down quickly, and you can have a really pretty decent event. Let's say if you're a 2650 player and just finish outside the prizes, meaning you have like a net loss. I really just wondered like how are people like just making a basic living playing these tournaments, because I don't think if you're like playing these tournaments consistently, like you are gonna be able to sustain yourself. So I played there last year, one tournament in Abu Dhabi. Actually did pretty well. Maybe I made $4,000 or something, but it really was a very good performance for me, and I don't think I can expect to score it every time. And still, even 4,000 is not anything particularly, let's say, amazing for European standards. I mean, after taxes and everything.
And Abu Dhabi is not cheap.
Yeah, okay. Usually, full board, everything gets covered in that sense. But also, I think the conditions worsened. I mean, I don't like you have to check it yourself, but I did some looking. And for example, I do remember specifically that last year, like in Abu Dhabi specifically, people above 2,700 got $2,000 starting fee, and it was less this year. But even not only these tournaments. For example, you have so many tournaments in Europe, and the prize fund is just honestly, I mean, it's not fantastic for players. Like I played now, for example, tournament Menorca Open in April, and it's like stacked. It's like super strong. I mean, like Arjun was playing there. I forget the exact list, but it was really strong. Like Fedoseyev, Alexenko, me, Nihal was playing there. So, and like tons of grandmasters for, I don't know, first prize, maybe €5,000, which it's really hard to get. So maybe at the end I made like 300 euros. So I just wonder like how a lot of people are sustaining themselves. And it's also a little bit of a, the situation is not exactly the same across the globe. For example, no, I played a tournament in Canada, where I mean, for basically same prize fund, the tournament was super weak. So it's a bit strange to see the mismatch there. But I don't know what is like an easy solution. It was really just me pointing out the situation, and I think that's how it is. Like a lot of like players, let's say, stuck in the range 2,600 to maybe 2,700. They don't have any invitations, especially if let's say you're from a strong country like India. You're not gonna get invitations even if you're around 2,700, because like your compatriots are even stronger. So you have not a lot of choice basically. But I guess that's just a reality. I don't know what's gonna change, because clearly like there's no incentive for the tournaments to increase the prize fund if anyway the players are coming. But on the other hand, like as a player, it's hard to make a living there. So for me, the solution is pretty simple. I just have to improve, I guess. But in general, I'm trying myself not to play these tournaments too much. And if I will play, it will definitely not be because of financial like attractions. For example, I played Menorca and Sardinia as well, another strong open tournament as well, just to basically get some practice in after I felt like I had done some pretty good work on chess, and to see what my level was at. But basically, it's more of an investment than anything else.
I think also the feeder circuit system disincentivizes tournament organizers to raise the prize fund, right? So people come for the feeder circuit points.
Yeah.
Top guys like Arjun, for example.
Well, I think Arjun himself actually, I assumed he was going there, but maybe I think he also just really likes to gain rating. And of course, like Arjun was like, what was his rating? 2740, but he wasn't getting a lot of invitations. I'm sure now he will get, for example, for the top players, the biggest event. Usually it's the Grand Chess Tour, and they do the invitations really early. So at the time they did the invitations, Arjun didn't get like a Grand Chess Tour invite. You can ask him about him whenever he's here.
He will be here.
But I think like also like the feeder circuit was like overvaluing maybe like the open tournament. So they were giving a lot of points for maybe events with still not as many top players. So it's pretty interesting to go there if you're trying to qualify for the candidates, I guess. But yeah, maybe it's only making the situation worse. But in general, I don't know what is like and I was following now, for example, another tournament in France, and I saw once again like so many like 2650s playing there, like for limited prize funds. So it's pretty tough out there, I guess, if you're not at the top. On the other hand, it's like that everywhere in the world, I guess. Like, you know, the top whatever 10 or like the top couple percentage in business or whatever. Everyone, like, they get like the major part of the money, and if you're a little bit below that, you're struggling. So
for the time being, this motivates you to get higher in the rankings.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for me, for now, like financially, at least for now, I'm like doing okay, so I don't have to worry about it too much. But definitely, I'm motivated to get to a higher level. And also, I think it matters like how you profile yourself as both person and as a player. Like if you're, let's say, around 2,700, if you're gonna make only draws, I mean, you're less likely to be invited than if you're playing some crazy attacking chess. Or you have to specialize in some time controls. For example, Dubov, he's not top 10, but he's always doing well in the World Rapid and Blitz. And there's like a lot of good prize fun there. So you definitely have to think a little bit about how to do it if you're not, let's say, 2750 top 10 level. But, you know, I'm trying to get there, but I'm not the only one. So we'll see.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
As a tradition, at the end of the podcast, I'm playing time odds blitz against my guests.
Okay.
I'm much lower rated, OTB around 1900. So if 1 minute against 5 is okay with you, we can do that.
Sure thing. Let's go. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Get some warming up.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thanks.
Press again. Yeah.
This? Okay. Oh, the elegant.
I thought you played d4 move one, so I was too busy looking at the clock.
I thought maybe you play this because I mentioned Telekine.
Maybe that was subconsciously the reason.
Okay, whatever. Okay, I'm already down a pawn.
Yeah, I don't like my position at all.
Some compensation.
Lots. I don't know why I played this. It's my first chess game of the day. I mean, for you too.
warm up for the tournament. Okay, let's go for it. Oh, they say missed, of course. Oh, okay.
Don't worry, it's a mistake.
Green takes.
Yeah, that was missed. That's surprise.
That was stupid. Okay.
I'll take it.
I just completely forgot about that rook. So that was the blunders. Okay. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the training.
Yeah.
I had a decent position there, I think.
Yeah, totally. You should just take on.
I should have just taken, yeah.
Yeah, like here.
I forgot about the rook on d4.
I thought I'm still like slightly better here, but I'm up 2 points at least. But you never know in bullet here. Like everything is possible.
Okay, thanks again. And guys, subscribe. Stay tuned for the next guests. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.